Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflection. Good morning, Jenny and Diana Dozen. That is an interesting way to spell that, but you've got a symbol of coffee there, so I respect that immensely. And good morning, Angelina. I hope everybody had that amazing day yesterday. So I went to yesterday. I was just thinking about this. I went to a tarot class last night because I just love talking tarot. It's Tarot 101. But I can always learn something. And it's interesting because people generally ask about the same questions at a Tarot 101. And they'll ask things like, should you leave your cards in the moonlight to cleanse them? Do you tap your deck beforehand to clear them out? Do you sleep with them under your pillow? How do you store them? Or the one that would cause me a lot of issues is that, should I be gifted a card? If I waited to be gifted, then I'd be SOL because, well, to me, they're kind of like tools. But it just kind of reminded me, and I'm trying to remember where I may have heard it. I'm not sure, but when back in the elder days, when people would read tea leaves, when people would read regular cards, the idea wasn't that the cards had the magic. The question is it the ink and the paper that has magic, or is it the person that has the magic? And I just thought that was kind of an interesting take on it. Because as you know, I don't really do any quote-unquote rituals like that. But I can see how they're developed because I had somebody ask me one time, and as I do this, I do have my rituals where I sit here, breathe. But one time it was interesting because a girl noticed that every time I shuffle the deck, I tap the bottom. And she was learning tarot, and she was wondering, why we do that. Why we do that. Why I do it. It's like because I'm not even realizing I do it. And for years, nobody's ever questioned that. And it's just to line the bottoms up. But, in a different situation or scenario, or maybe somebody left watching me, is that how our rituals develop? We watch somebody without asking questions, and then all of a sudden, we're doing it. But as we sit here, everybody knows I have my rituals. Good morning, Jenna. And none of those things are negative because whether we realize it or not, a lot of them are light switches. So that's why I say we sit here listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. And that reminds me to breathe. And that's kind of my ritual. And that's even just saying that when I'm teaching or when I'm talking to somebody, if I just say, I listen to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. And that's why I encourage people to meditate. And when they do, have something like ringing a bell or lighting a candle, because if you do it long enough, your body's automatically going to go into that trance, that different mode, that disassociation. But yeah, it was a really good time last night. So I think I'm done talking. But yes, you can tell I enjoyed that and talking tarot with people and all that wonderful stuff. So welcome to the My Tarot Morning Reflection Daily Inventory. Chance to check in with the universe, or as I like to say, where the universe can hold up a mirror, ask us what do we see, and we can use the tarot as that reflection. And part of my ritual is not only listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean, but getting myself grounded into that little more meditative mode, checking in with the feet. Mine happen to be flat on the ground. I roll my ankles, and then I let my butt do the kitty dance to get it nice and comfortable in this cushion, which is difficult today. Then I check in with the shoulders. And the old shoulder meter, see where that is. The more stressed, the higher they are. and then the neck, and then we go into that different mode. So what am I going to do first then? First, I'm going to make our 3 stacks. It's like each one's a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in a multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead us down one path. This stack is a different conversation from this one, which is going to lead us down a totally different path. And the question is, which thread do we want to pull? Which path do we want to take? And today, let's go with right at the center, or what I like to think of as what's right at the heart. Smoky skies. As I think about it, that's not cloud. Is that because of forests burning? I hope not. So I'm going to do our 3 in 1. Good morning, Maureen. I hope everything is going amazing for you. So, flipping each card over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book. The exciting part. What's that first card? How are we going to start the day? How are we going to start our ideas? And it's the 4 of Cups. So when we have the 4 of Cups, so 1 cup, we take that breath, because cups are the element of water. Cups are our spirituality, our emotions, our feelings. You know, we start our day with our first cup of coffee. And doesn't that make us relax? So 1 cup is a seed that we plant. 2, we have different ideas. It's balancing things. It's choices. Threes are about growth. As the old saying goes, 1 + 1 = 3, right? And then 4. 4s are like the 4 legs of a table. Stability, right? But the thing about water, what happens to water if you have a lake? Hello from sunny Poland. Welcome, welcome. So when you have water in a lake, it needs to have water going out, nice little creek going out, and another one coming in to feed it, because there's movement. But if you block one of those and the water stands still, what happens to water? It's not flowing anymore. It starts to become stagnant. So when we look at a person, generally on the 4 of Cups, it's kind of like we're stagnant, right? There's no movement. So this is a question that asks us about movement. And this is emotions, feelings. And since this is a daily meditation, minor cards are just the day-to-day card. Welcome to a Friday. So it's just about the focus on today, not where we were in the past and not where we're going in the future right now. It's just, how am I feeling? What areas might I be stagnant? So could it be relationships? Could it be maybe I've stopped meditating? Could it be that things are just starting to get on my nerves easy because I'm not, feeling that spiritual groundedness? So this is where we get to focus on maybe where we might be discontented. So let's see what the next card is. It's the 3 of Swords. So it's always interesting because the writer Waite Smith and Pamela Coleman Smith, she went to the British Museum in the early 1900s to look at the not tarot cards, but other gaming cards that had pictures on them. And the Solabuska was one of them. And Solabuska, it's a different type of game than tarot, but the Solabuska had a 3 of Swords with a heart and swords going through it. So Pamela Coleman Smith took almost that exact same design and she made her three of hearts, or her three of swords, with the heart. So the question is, if swords, when we learn of the tarot, swords are the element of air, swords are our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxieties. So then what has that got to do with the heart? Well, since we do try and focus on the pictures that come in, okay, so if I'm reading the Marseille, it's all about anxiety or the mental, so 1 is the seed, 2 is our choices and things being in balance. And often when we get stagnant, often when we are, there's areas of our life that we may not notice needs attention, then if we have this balance and we wait long enough, you have 2 swords, choices and balance. If we wait long enough, then something's going to throw that third sword in there. And especially since we're talking about our spirituality, our emotions, and our feelings. So that will fit with this because this will also start affecting us mentally. So what is it that we are, again, feeling any discontentment about? It doesn't need to be major. It can be free-floating anxiety. But where is the water not flowing? So let's see the next card. To the 2 of Swords. So, swords again, our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxieties. Well, we're walking back here, aren't we? 4, 3, 2. Our goal isn't to go 4, 3, 2. Our goal is to take the challenges of the 5s, to go to the 6 and above that. So, 2 of Swords is about coming back to make choices again. So, today, as we're thinking, meditating, lighting our candle, what area of our lives are we going, doesn't have to be a big thing, but keep in mind, if the minors are the day-to-day cards, these are the steps we take to the majors. When we don't take care of our 4 of Swords, leading to the 3 of Swords, leading to the 2 of Swords, the next card that might pop up in the sequence might be a destiny card. It leads us to bigger issues. So for me, if I think about the 4 of Cups, I find that I am not advertising the tarot stuff. I'm not doing classes. I am not doing things to motivate myself to continue. I've got events coming up, but I've been thinking about why am I stagnant in this? And that what is the effect of this? And now that I've said this out loud, because these cards have triggered that, now I can recognize this. So the question is, what is the advice card then? What are we going to do about it? See what I was talking about? We have the Tower. So these are just welcome to a Friday, right? We're going backwards here. And then the advice card is to recognize where we might be going with this. So it is the Tower. And what is the Tower? So as I like to point out, because of tarot history, what was the Tower originally called? It was called La Maison Dieu, the House of God. It is the lightning struck tower. And then I always follow this up with that question. What's the one thing that hurts work? Because people ask about the tower. Is it mass destruction? Am I going to get in a car wreck? It's like, no. Since this is the lightning struck tower, I like to ask, what is the one thing that hurts worse than a lie? And I get a lot of different answers, and it's so interesting to see the answers because Then the light bulb goes off when I answer. The one thing that hurts worse than a lie is the truth. Because the truth can destroy families, it can bring down kingdoms. And that's why it's the light. This is the truth of God. This is that light that shines on a lie or something that's going on, because it can bring down the tower. And the question is, do we want to continue living in the tower and just ignore what's going on, or do we want to let it bring down all of our original ideas so that we can build up something new? So the advice card here is, what is it that we're not looking at today that might lead up to something bigger tomorrow? What are we not looking at today that might lead up to something bigger tomorrow? So with that, I hope everybody again has that amazing day, amazing weekends. Jenny, I'm going to poke my head out to see if we've got see if it's come down this far in Maryland from where you are. Everybody take care and have that amazing weekend, and I will be back here again on Monday. Thanks a lot.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around. Mysteries we have found. In the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures, guiding light. Readers and seekers in the night. Hopes and fears written in gold. Truth appears.